So Alec, when it comes to abrasives out in the market, there's so many different minerals, materials, backings, so many different brands, and ones that stand out are the Bona green ceramics, part of your ceramic system. They're part of all your systems really, and I get a lot of contractors coming to me saying that they're lasting so long in comparison to others. They are removing scratches so much easier, and overall they've got quality for money. Now they are quite costly, but they are cost effective in the long run. Can you just run through what makes these ones so good compared to their competitors?
Okay, yeah. I think we should sort of backtrack a little bit. And most abrasives sold in the market generally are made specifically for sanding metal. That's the biggest market in the world for abrasives, the automotive industry. Bona have taken a very different line. So we've specifically designed abrasives for wood floor sanding. We were the first people to do this, in fact. So we're not just pushing out generic abrasives for multiple applications. These are specifically designed for wood floor sanding. And for wood floor sanding, there are a few specific things that abrasives can do, and you mentioned about scratch patterns and alike, and when we compare a dedicated wood floor abrasive with a standard one, if you like, generic one, you often find that there's no standardization of the particle size, the grit size on the backing of the generic abrasives. So the particles are all different sizes. Rather than all being the same grit size, the grit size depicts an average value. So we may have particles ranging in size from a 50 to 120 on, say, an 80 grit abrasive. They're not all the same size. So this means if we've got an abrasive where the particles are at different sizes, when we're sanding with them, we're going to have scratches of different depths. Now, this isn't a problem initially. You know, we need to sand the floor, we need to remove quantity of timber, but with our floor sanding, of course, we need to sand to an effective standard to remove scratches. So the scratch removal is done by the next sanding, and again, if the grit size is all different, we're not going to be able to remove the deeper scratches from the previous sand. So one of the beauties of especially the green ceramic abrasive is this standardization of grit size. It means that it's very easy to remove the scratches from the previous sand. This is an enormous benefit for wood floor sanders, particularly when we're living in a time where a lot of the floors, about 70% I would estimate, of floors that are being refurbished are being stained. So, and of course, in order to have a successful stain treatment, we need to have the sanding to an extremely high level.
So, for instance, this here is a 60 grit, and what you're saying is the consistency of the size of the grits is more consistent in the Bona green ceramic.
Absolutely. So the 60, it depicts the particle size. So it's a 60th of an inch in cross-section, the particles. That's how big they should be. And if you were to measure them from the Bona abrasive, they're all going to be that size. Whereas on a lower quality product, there'll be a variety of sizes.
And I know we're talking on a microscopic level here of scratches that if we follow the whole system, it won't make a difference. And of course, when we're sanding a floor, we're technically scratching it, moving up the grits to make them so microscopic that you can't see. But it is so important when choosing an abrasive.
Of course, and this is, I haven't even mentioned yet the different types of minerals that you alluded to at the beginning. And with the green ceramic, we've got two different qualities of aluminium oxide abrasives. And they have different physical properties. But of course, this is going to determine how effective they are in terms of their aggressiveness at removing existing coatings and also mitigating scratches afterwards. So yeah, the quality of the grit itself is going to be central in terms of how long the product lasts and how effective they are. So of course, this is all part and parcel of the design.
So wow, so this is a ceramic mixed with an aluminium oxide, and I take it there's
two different qualities, two different ceramic qualities of aluminium oxide.
And I take it the aluminium oxide inside is softer, so it doesn't give you such sharper.
Yeah, you have two different physical properties.
Great, wow. And is that the same for the platinum ceramic?
No, with the platinum ceramic, this again is a ceramic abrasive, but this has been heat and pressure treated to make it even harder and remain sharper for longer. So again, we can vary the properties of these abrasives depending on how they're treated. So, but these are much sharper and harder than the grit overall on the green ceramic, and that's why we would only use the platinum ceramics for the removal of coatings, existing coatings. And these will remove very tough factory finishes. So, and then once we've removed the finish, we will then move on to an abrasive which isn't quite as aggressive, one that's more likely to remove scratches than to put new ones in.